Hello, good morning and welcome to an overcast La Cerdagale in northern Spain. You've joined us here for the second ICF Slalom World Cup of the 2016 season. Over 280 athletes from 50 nations are competing throughout the weekend, and today we have a full-on calendar. We're going to start in a few minutes with the K1 women semi-finals. That's 30 athletes that have come through the heats on Friday, in fact, and then we're going to go on to the C2, and that's the top 20 boats. After we've done the semi-finals, we're going to have a little bit of a gap, and then from midday Central European time, it's now 9:27, so that's in about 2.5 hours time, it's finals time. K1 women and C2 men. It's all fairly straightforward. As ever, I'm Matthew Layton. I have two really cool guests today. They've been on the water this weekend. They don't have years and years of experience at international level, but they certainly have been involved in the sport for many, many years. It's Georgia Rankin, Kate Eckhart, both from Australia. Hello.
Hello.
So thank you very much for coming along. Let's go straight into the action. How are the conditions today?
A bit cloudy, but nothing bad for the water. I mean, it's not windy, that's your main problem.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good racing conditions. Not too hot, not too cold, no wind. Yeah, pretty ideal, really.
Ideal.
The course, we've seen it now, because this is the course we used, rather the athletes used yesterday in the semi-finals and finals, so it becomes fairly familiar. I think yesterday we saw it 120 times, in fact. So it is a challenge. The course normally narrow, shallow. There seemed to be not much time changing hands on the top, a lot on the bottom. Is that how you see it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that bottom down move, if you can get that running straight through, no spins and no sort of edge losses, you're going to pick up a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon there's time everywhere in the course. There's a lot of moves that are, I mean, not amazingly difficult, but there's definitely a lot of time if you stuff them up. And yeah, I think there's time everywhere in the course for sure.
Well, we'll see how the top athletes actually perform. What's quite interesting is we do have some really well-known Olympic athletes that are going to go first in the K1 women. So it's not just the last 10 we have to look out for. There's a lot of stress going to be going on. 30 athletes, 10 are going to go forward to the final, and it's of course the same rules of ever. It's the time plus the penalties added on. 2 seconds for a hit, 50 seconds for a miss. If you're just tuning in for the first time, green and white downstream, red and white upstream. And here are the athletes, the first 10 to go. Place to go to Rio. However, they're both wanting to put on a bit of a show. A lot of them have just come back and are just going out again to Rio. I know the Brits, Fiona Penny's been back a couple of weeks and she's going out a couple of weeks again in time. But we have some big hitters later on. Well, you can look at there, France, 3:1:14. Marie-Zé Lafont is the Olympic boat. Yana Dukatova, I believe, is the Olympic boat. Then Ricardo Funk won last week. And here we go to the big hitters. The last one's down. Mylene Shuro officially owns this course.
Yeah.
She's put some spectacular dance here. Stepanica Hilgatova is not going to the Olympics this time, but has been 5 times before. Melanie Pfeiffer's going to the Olympics. Jessica Fox is going to the Olympics. Luca Jones is going to the Olympics. So it's la creme de la creme, isn't it?
Yeah.
For sure.
So who stands out for you apart from everyone?
I would definitely say the locals, Marilyn and Arati. Yeah, no, definitely. This course is a pretty unique course.
Look, there you go, here the Fox family.
There they are, just getting ready.
Definitely a standout.
Yeah, of course, for us. Yeah, no, this course is a very unique course and it's been the same since 1992. So, yeah, I definitely think the locals will definitely be able to put down the runs that they want to do.
Right, here's the first athlete going. She does look a little bit tense, but there she always does, and she puts forward a big performance. She's had some great performances here in the last few years. She's been the overall World Cup winner a few years back. It's Ursa Kragel from Slovenia, who's the Olympic boat. Let's see how she's going.
Very dry through those top gates. Going for the direct move too.
Yeah, really smooth through that first big move. Looking good through the drop there.
So we
definitely a lot of time in that up there.
An early, a careless touch, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, every touch is not intentional. But
Well, the 2 touches early on. What we saw yesterday, we didn't see that many of the finalists, especially in the men's K1, having. I think there's only one athlete who had any touches going through.
It'll be tough to come back from that, especially with being slightly low in that up there, and looks like she's
very relaxed, oddly relaxed.
And picking up another touch there in gate 13, it'll be really hard to get back that 6 seconds on the bottom of the course here.
We don't exactly know where she's in the training schedule. Obviously, there's a big priority that's going to happen in Amanda says time, so it might be just a practice run.
Maybe. It definitely seems very relaxed. There's nowhere near as much of the sprinting you'd see in kayak men's. It works for her.
But that's worked quite well because he has all sorts of challenges yesterday.
Yeah.
And the deceptive bit is now there's still about 15 strokes to go, and everyone was saying, no, it's far too long at the end.
It is, definitely.
Especially in a plastic boat.
Yes, from yesterday. So, well, she's by definition ranked number 1. She, 2 days ago she said she felt not so bad, knew something was coming on. Yesterday she felt a bit oof, and so hopefully today she's a bit better.
Yeah.
But still making a show of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sayers have been known for a place for getting a bit under the weather due to the water.
Farms everywhere.
Yeah. All the runoff going into the water.
So do you athletes have to prepare for that? You have these sort of
I mean we've got to be careful. Like none of our team is drinking the tap water here, and I mean just being really careful not to ingest the water. It's really important to, especially when you're training hard and your immune system's a bit down. It's really important to stay on top of it and get enough sleep, eat well, and just be careful.
Well, so far Fiona Penny putting down a good run. She's 9 seconds up and clean, so it's looking like she's really determined to give it her best shot early in the morning. There's a cheap touch.
Yeah, no, that gate has proven to be a tricky one for the touches for sure. Saw a lot of touches given out yesterday on that second last up.
Well, she's certainly going to be in the lead, but will it be enough to go through? And they're hoping so. There's a look of experience that no, it's not what she wanted.
No.
There's that touch in the bit at the top was a bit wobbly too, coming through the down.
So third up is Lilu from China, one of their very strong competitors who hasn't had the ideal start.
No, you have a touch on gate 3.
Plenty of speed there. She has a great warm-up. She paddles around with her eyes closed. I thought she was doing the course, but I could not figure out where she was the other day.
Are you trying to actually figure out which gate she was on?
Yeah. Could not figure it out.
Okay. She'll probably just do that just to confuse everyone.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the dream start. We have 3 early touches.
Looks like pressure is getting to her a little bit. Maybe.
Oh, leaning back. Oh, she does it awesomely there.
Oh, she's nailed that up. It's looking good. Definitely picked up a couple of seconds on the other girls there.
Crucially, Fiona Penny only had 2 penalties, so she really needs to see how she is. But she's 5 seconds off the pace. So, but Fiona didn't have a dream finish, so let's see how she can go through here. Well, it looks like she's drinking a bit of the water there, so I hope she's going to be okay.
Hopefully she doesn't get sick. Looking good in those ups, nice and smooth.
Not stopping at all.
Looking
Here we
good.
go. Last 5 or 6 seconds of pain.
Come on.
Well, the time to go for was 1:08, so she's not going to trouble that.
Quite.
I think these top athletes, they know that's not going to be enough. Estelle Manja, one of the many Frenchies renewing a bit of the team this year. No Newman, no doubt she'll be back.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
dear,
come on.
she's dropped low in that first up.
It's the wave.
Bit of a mistake there.
Costed too much.
She's caught up well though and opting for the spin on the.
Oh.
But picking up a touch, unfortunately, on that gate, down gate.
Really strong posture. Just like sits.
Another
Seems
touch.
Completely undeterred by the touches
Which is
and the slides.
I'm not sure that's a good idea, but there you go.
Very characteristic of the French paddlers, having very upright and proud posture in the boat.
So that's drilled in from them from the age of 8, I guess.
Whenever
I
they
reckon.
start. Could be as young as 2.
Oh, sliding a bit in that down with a stagger above the big drop.
Well, look, she's off the pace 7 seconds. It's not going to help her go forward.
Those touches
That
have
was
cost her
nice
for sure.
Very tight through there.
Because there's no excuses today. They've seen the course 100 times. The weather conditions are absolutely perfect.
Watched 100 people do it.
Yeah.
Estelle comes over the course again. She's not going to trouble the leader, who at the moment is Fiona Penny, but there's only 4 of 30 athletes gone. If you've just tuned in, good morning. Central European time, 9:40. Georgia Rankin, Kate Eckhart from, do you say Australia or Tasmania?
I'm Australia, of course. We are a part of Australia.
Okay, it's Claudia DRZEWICA from Poland now.
Polish had a good result in the C1 yesterday. Oh.
Opting for the spin on second move through.
So that'll be something she's talked about with her coach and said it for you with your,
Yeah,
if you're
for
in that
sure.
position, you spin.
She probably would have visualised the course before she went down. Maybe even done the course with her eyes closed on the flat water at the top of the course.
A little bit low in that up. Cost her a second or two. But pushing across hard into that second up.
That
and
seemed to
she's
catch
done
a
it well.
lot of people yesterday, the
Yes.
bubbly water across
It's
there.
tough. It's really tough crossing across there, especially from the left to right. It's really, really tough.
Oh,
There's a
tail
touch.
touch. That's unfair.
Unfair.
Well,
Not unfair,
Gone
but
past the gate.
unlucky. Looking smooth in that last second to last up.
not too bad.
Well, points time 108 leading from 110 to 113. So this is the 5th athlete to go out of 30 in the semi-final of the K1 women from La Cédagale.
Second.
About a second behind.
Well, it's going to regret that tail touch. Olympic champion 2012. This is her second last race of her career, in the sense that she quits after
Yeah, that's it.
moves house, new life.
Yep.
Emily Fair, of course, from France. She's been having a little of a what's the right word? She had a bit of a strain in her stomach a couple of days ago, and that's why she couldn't really pull, and that's why she had to take a bit of a problem going through the heat. So she's not 100%, unfortunately.
Looking very smooth through that first section. Best that we've seen so far, I'd say.
But she is a class act, former world champion.
Yeah,
You're never a former Olympic champion, are you? You're always Olympic champion.
that's it.
She didn't go for Ivrea, so she's going here and
Only
Nicole. But 1 second down
still
so
a
far.
second down, but all the other girls have picked up touches on this bottom section, so let's hope for her that she can keep it clean. Struggling a bit to get into that gate, but
So there's something just in the
Picking up
engine,
well.
in the stomach, that wasn't quite working, so she felt she couldn't give it the extra effort. And that explains quite a few things a bit.
Yeah, well, you can never really give too much effort if you feel like you're going to vomit.
Well, she's slipping away, 3 seconds down, but there again, so far clean.
yeah.
Might be our first clean run. Ooh, shouldn't say that.
Well, only 3 gates to go. 22 gates on this
It's
course.
looking good though.
6 upstream, that's 4, 7, 12, 13, 19, 20.
Bit of a struggle going into that second last gate there, but it looks like it's a clean run from Fiona Penn.
Where's she going to go next?
It's still off the pace, 2 and a bit seconds down from the leader.
Next to go is Karolina Galuskova from the Czech Republic.
Galuskova's little sister's just come onto the scene recently, and
Paddling very well.
she's a really good paddler, and Carolina's had a shoulder problem.
She dislocated her shoulder for the second time just recently. I think it was the other shoulder than she to what she did last time, and had to have surgery. So that put her back last year and had her out for a few months. But looks like she's recovered really well and is back on the pace.
And just half a second down.
A little bit low in that up, but let's see if she can nail the cross. Oh, and
Quite
low
low
again.
Oh, shit.
Dropping a few seconds off there.
So no one's really grabbed the course and said it's mine, have they?
No,
Everyone's
yet.
really
Not at all. I think they're all feeling the pressure a little bit, much like the women's C1 yesterday.
It's a very fiddly course sometimes. Shallow, pushy water, and there's not much room for error.
No.
And I guess what was quite clever is the athletes I had in yesterday were telling me that although there was plenty of possibility to practice during the week, there's quite a few moves today that weren't in the practice setup.
Yeah.
Coming over the line, it might be the first place so far. It's going to be close. It's moves
Oh, just
just into
0.18.
second place. Galuskova, Karolina moves into second.
Behind Fiona Penny now 7 athletes gone.
And Violetta Oblinger-Peters, who just by a fraction missed out on Olympic qualification to Karina Kunle, who's actually not here this weekend.
In Ivrea, when she goes over the line, it was an all right run. I guess it must have been better than Vio's, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Goes over the line and just fist pumping really hard. Like, whoa.
It's the same. All the Austrians had their selection, so same with Mario Leitner. He's also not here after his Olympic selection, but will be at Po.
But Violetta is an Olympic medalist, which is good news.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And
she's
she gets
over a second up
well
on the
done.
first
She's
split.
definitely carrying a lot of speed through that top section. Bit of slide through there.
Definitely.
Now the husband's coaching her. She seems to say she's a new lease of life.
Yeah, she's looking good. Picking up an unfortunate touch there, though.
I believe her father and uncle also were top paddlers, so it's in the blood.
Oh, yeah. Definitely helps. Yeah. She seems to be rating a lot more than the other girls were. Or maybe Fiona Penny was.
Taking a lot more strokes, but maybe that's just their style.
So she's very slight but very strong, isn't she?
Yeah.
You often see her in the gym here working out when most other people are having coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. She's had a couple of problems with her neck. But yeah, so
Well, it's going to be the fastest time so far. It's just a case of will it be enough to
Definitely.
make the final? It's a very good final. It's 1:05.95. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean happy and frustrated or just frustrated?
Yeah, it's always hard to tell.
Marta Konatova from Russia comes in. We had some good Russians in the finals yesterday.
Yeah.
Or rather, it was good to see the Russians in the final.
they were probably also good.
Bit of trouble there in the down in the eddy.
Spend as little time as possible in a gate paddling back and up and down stream, or else you'll get a 50 for passing back through it. But she is clean. Ah, again, too deep.
Is the water shifting around or is it fairly consistent?
It's fairly consistent here, just due to the small volume of the water. Usually the more water going down the course, the less consistent it is. But yeah, no, this course is, as I said, has been very, very similar since 1992. It's not like they have plastic things that they can move around, and yeah, it's quite a stable course in that way.
So you weren't born in 1992, but just Kate, briefly, what's your family history?
I wasn't born in 1992, but my father was at the Olympics in 1992 at this course. Yeah, racing in C1.
Well, here we go, 3 seconds down. 8 athletes have gone down so far.
Nobody being able to put together quite the run they planned, but might be one of those races where you've just got to not do anything special, but get out there and put down just a solid run. Might be all that it takes from the looks of what's happened so far.
Yeah.
Well, there's some big hitters coming in, and Violetta Oringa-Peters was 2.5 seconds ahead of the field, but this put her down.
Oh, she stopped before the finish line.
No, it hasn't.
No, the time hasn't stopped.
We had a couple of heart
Yeah.
attacks yesterday when that actually happens. The finishing line, we know she's passed because it's literally below my feet. It's just here, just down here.
Here's one of the locals. I reckon we'll be looking for a good run here. Knowing this course is definitely a huge advantage. And we saw Nuria in the C and
C1, yeah.
the C1 yesterday, taking out the field by a good
6 seconds.
6 seconds, which is very impressive.
I remember your
She's looking
compatriot
good.
Jess Fox won the
Jess is a classic for
2013
that.
Prague at 13 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is
She's
offending
an
to anybody.
exceptional athlete, but
Anyway, Martin is half a second up as we speak.
a little bit low in that up, but pushing back up to it.
Everyone's done the same thing there, haven't they? No one's really been in and out quickly.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is ooh,
coming
looking
onto
good
that
on
wave.
that exit. This is looking like a good run. She can keep clean, then
It's on the other side of the bank, you can't actually see, but there's about 50 little school children running down, shouting, all dressed
yeah,
in
yeah,
their
they
yellow
love
security tops. Well, she's a third of a second up, so it's not
Only-
spectacular, but she's clean.
Oh, she's
Looking
cutting
good
some
on that.
tight lines. Not spectacular the last 2 ups, but definitely no touches, so let's see the sprint.
Well, it's going to be very close for the provisional. I think it's going to go take it.
yeah, looking good. Yeah,
We would expect that, but is it going to be enough? She's certainly not ecstatic.
no.
But
There were definitely some small mistakes in there, but you don't know what everyone else is going to do, and you never do.
Carol Bazidi is the second French athlete down. We have a stack of them coming up. Flying over the first bit.
Traditionally, the French and the Spanish are both exceptional on this course due to the access that they have to it. Struggling a little bit in that down
Looks more
and
like a spin.
pushing up across and picking up a touch on. 8.6. And she's 4.5 seconds down on the split. Yeah.
Coming in very tight for that up. But does it well.
Seemed to work there.
Yeah. Getting a little bit stuck on that inside pole as a lot of people are. It's a tricky eddy, that one, and the up's in a difficult position.
Being able to paddle through there, I mean, it was more evident in C1 women, but getting that turn in early allows you to keep on putting the power down rather than just steer past that rock. But she's done it well.
Well, we're 4 seconds off the pace.
That touch has really cost her. That last up is looking good.
Well, it could be putting into a 3rd or 4th place. I don't think it's going to be enough to go through there. No, sorry, 8th place. No. See you in pole.
Yeah.
Next lady down, one last week, Ricarda Funk. She's arguably the top athlete in the last couple of years. Unfortunately for her, unfortunately for Melanie Pfeiffer, she's not going to the games. But she floats, doesn't she?
Definitely. She's very slight, but very strong too. So much power. Classic German, I guess.
Well, Ricarda Funk here seems to be telling the boat what to do.
That's it. I'd say she's almost deceivingly strong.
Oh, that was high and tight and pinging out.
Well, she's getting a bit stuck on that eddy line, but going nice and high into the up.
Those sprint sections. I'd say there's 3 on the course, I reckon. She pins all of them.
Would you include the last?
Yeah.
Well, she's made up almost, 3 seconds in the midsection, which is impressive. She'll definitely be eyeing a place in the final, if not on the podium, if not the victory.
Looking good in that last up, nice and smooth. Keeping the boat moving. Hesitating a bit in those last downs.
Well, this is exhibition stuff from Ricarda Funk from Germany. She's going to certainly post the fastest time.
4 seconds.
Wow.
Well done.
That's definitely the best run we've seen so far.
Well, that's fine.
Mostly gone to plan.
Who's taken in on Lisa Leitner, whose brother is going to the Olympics. She unfortunately is not.
Maybe as a spectator.
Correct. From Austria, of course. Broke onto the scene a couple of years ago in Prague and is performing really, really well now. Again, one of the new generation. Very jazzy boat.
Yeah, she's had some spectacular boats. She had this boat that was covered in paint splatters. Really liked it. Oh my gosh, that design. Very high in that spin.
Picking up a touch on gate 5, which would definitely cost her. It'd be hard to come back from a 2-second penalty on the current leader. Almost
Well,
5 seconds down.
I think that split's going to be hard to beat for a while.
I think it's mainly the last third, very much the last half that Ricarda Funk really put it down, doesn't she? She's slightly off in the first section. But it was a no mistake run, no penalty. So the first 2 so far are Ricarda Funk, who won last week, and Marta Martinez, who's from here. So they both are expected in a way.
And Marta Martinez definitely didn't put down quite the run that she could have, in my eyes.
She looked a bit disappointed at the end.
Yes, that's it.
Oh, she's hit the boil.
Oh dear. Running a bit low in that second to last up.
pushing hard.
Well, it's not quite getting right, is
that
it? It's
was
nearly
not
right,
exactly
but
on
not
the
quite
line.
right.
Yeah, a couple of tweaks would have done that run good.
Lisa Leitner goes into 11th, so won't be progressing,
happy with that.
unfortunately, in the final.
At all. But when are you ever happy with the run?
When you
Eva-
progress to the final, that's when you're happy.
Eva Dutchel, very strong athlete, has won here before. Very competitive in the Slovenian team. Unfortunately for her, she's not going to react.
Looking good through that top section. Be interesting to see her splits. Very, very good in that second up.
The Slovenians have an interesting training environment. None of them seem to train together. All have their own coaches.
Obviously it works, and obviously they have their huge water there.
Yeah, so they don't have to be stuck in one spot. Oh, riptide.
Yeah, there's plenty of places to go in Slovenia to train, that's for sure.
Oh,
We're
super tight. That was nailed.
Looking great through that middle section.
Well done. The World Cup finalists here, so the 5th of the 5 ICF slalom events, is going to be in touch with us here in mid-September, the week
Yes,
after
that's
Prague.
it.
Are you guys
Yeah.
coming over for that?
Yeah, well, I'm staying. I'll be there.
Oops.
Ooh, picking up a touch, that's definitely going to cost her. It'll be hard to come back from that.
It's painful right at the end, isn't it? Well, she moved into second place, but she'll be annoyed about that.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people between her and first place.
Jana Dukatova, there's so many superlatives about her over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
She's one of the world's top performers from Slovakia, of course.
definitely.
Slovakian power.
Not sure she wanted to do that.
It's a little bit jerky. She's generally known for her obscenely smooth paddling. Seems effortless, but this is definitely looking like she's putting in some effort.
She needs a bigger boat to cover all those sponsors, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Good for her, though. Just shows at the top of this game there's money to be made. Well, she's down at the point.
I'm getting the feeling that a powerful athlete over a smooth athlete is going to do better on this course. There's so much time to make up speed in these sprints.
Yeah, the course is very awkward. There's a lot of moves that aren't, well, there's a few moves in there that aren't exactly about the finesse. It's more about getting through it and pushing hard.
Well, still down there.
Almost 3 seconds down, but she can smash this bottom section. But
The rock, it's getting
that
everywhere.
rock.
But again, Ricardo Funk was 4 seconds ahead of the field, though, so there is space there.
There's
Jana
definitely
Dukatova is the
space.
15 to 30 competitors come down in the semi-finals, K1. But she really needs to
Put her
hurt
sprinter.
here.
She's picked up a touch on the second to last gate, which is really going to cost her. It goes into fifth.
And I think she knows it.
And
So without that penalty, she would have been in second.
it's definitely cost her.
Maria Zelle Lafont. Maybe some people were surprised that she won the French trials, which are probably more competitive than most other internal trials. And so
Yeah,
she goes to Rio.
Picking up her touch on gate one, though, which is really going to cost her. She's going to have to push really hard to
I think
come
she
back
might-
from that.
That might be the first one I've seen today, or first one I've seen over the weekend taking out gate one.
Yeah.
Oh, the rock.
I know
Does it well there.
I've run into that rock many a time.
Keeps it very smooth.
And the rock's been there 25 years.
Yeah, you'd think she'd know about it.
Well, look, that's expensive at the beginning.
Definitely, and 3.5 seconds down on the split. It's going to be a big ask to come back from that.
Oh, stop there. Oh, loses it on the exit.
Losing time in that up there, definitely.
Well, there's 3 or 4
Struggling to
seconds
get
there
back
gone.
out.
Paddled all the way through that. That was good.
Really smooth through this midsection.
But if you look at the timing, she's 5 and 5.4 off the pace as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I guess, lost it in that top section, that rock. It's not quite on point, I guess, is where that time's gone.
Just dropping a little bit low on some of the ups.
I feel like this is definitely going to be a very tough semi-final to be racing in. Any little mistake is going to cost a lot.
Well, moves into 8th place.
Almost 8 seconds down.
Again, another athlete. This won't be the absolute priority. Ekaterina Perova, the second of our Russian athletes now today. It's okay she falls out because she was a really top swimmer in her youth.
Just like the Foxes. They were both squad swimmers when they were younger. Looking smooth through this top section. And opting for the spin on that. But
Really have to make sure you go through the gate before you do the spin. Quite
yeah,
a few people.
it's quite a fast eddy, so it's hard to. You don't want to be backwards in the gate above it because you'd have to back paddle to go through it.
But despite these slight challenges, well, they have put on a 50.
Oh, yeah, they've given her a
So
50.
it looked, you have to have the whole of your head and part of your boat at the same time going through the.
And you can only go
all
through
of your
it in
head
one way.
It has to be the whole head and some boat. And I feel like there wasn't quite any boat in that gate.
So
And
And you don't get away with much these days with judges on the video watching constantly and overruling any unsure decisions of the judges on the gates.
Oh! Hit the
Struggling
eddy
a
hard.
bit in that last move.
Bit too much edge, I guess.
Well, it's all academic, but even with the 50, if it hypothetically came off, she wouldn't be troubling the leaders.
No, that would have been 111 without the 50, but still not quite on the pace.
So next up, Natalia Pachupenko.
From Poland. She's put some good results for you. I think she was the Olympian, wasn't she, in 2012?
Yeah, going hard at the start, that's for sure.
Wow! That is hard to
Absolutely
do.
nailing that up.
Sweep up.
I reckon she's going to be, on the pace, that's for sure. Only half a second down on the first split.
Carter.
Oh, dropping a bit low in that up. Losing a
Speed
bit
out
of time there. And nice and fast through that second up. We were struggling a bit there on that down in the eddy.
Time sticking on 4.5. That would put her in 3rd or 4th place, though, so it's still worth battling on.
Dropping 4 seconds through that middle section. It's hard to believe watching the run. Just shows how tiny things can cost you.
Catching the eddy bit through there, but still powering on.
Second time to go forward would be 1:05, so it's going to be again 9th, which is not going to be good enough.
Dropping back to over 8 seconds behind the leader.
Next to go, Lizzie Neve from Great Britain. Was the 2012 Olympic boat, but Fiona Penny has clearly taken over that role for the 2016 games. A really tough competitor. She had injury problems, but she's back now. It's very dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah, she's a very strong girl, I can tell you that.
You went climbing with her the other day, didn't you?
Yeah. Not afraid to give something a go. Looks like she's going to be a bit down in the first split, almost 2 seconds. She's going to have to push hard to make that up. There's a lot of time in these 2 ups and she's nailed the first one.
Couldn't ask for a better cross than that.
A little bit of time in that second one, I'd say, but still pretty damn good.
Well, she's very much in with a shout of her position in the final. It's only 2.5 seconds down from Ricardo Font.
Oh, struggling a bit in that
That's
last
wrong,
move. Picking up a touch and dropping into a spin. It's going to really, really cost her.
Putting everything she has into it. I don't think it's going to be enough.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately into 10th with quite a few paddlers to go. So
And I think the look she gave,
she knows that it's not enough.
Vicky Wolfhard, we saw in the C1 from Austria, also very competitive in the K1.
Off the wave. Gonna have to do a bit of a sprint to that first up.
Yeah, losing a fair bit of time there.
Let's take a look at the current standings. 19th, Ekaterina Perova, 18th, Kushna Canoe, 17th, LJUBLJANA, 16th, Lisa Langer, 15th, Marta Argonova.
Pushing hard to make up the time that she lost.
A little wave after the up. I saw the kayak men kept on hitting it. If you can go around it, it looks so much better.
3.5 seconds down, so it's going to be very tough to make that up in this bottom section. But she's nailed the first of the 2 tricky
Well, you can
ups.
see in your graphics the 4 leaders at the moment, and there's a big gap between them. There's 5.5 seconds between the first 4, so there's plenty of space there for someone who wants to come in.
I still think Ricardo's run is probably the only one that's gone fully to plan as yet. And 5 seconds down on the split, putting her.
Still nothing that's been really pinpointable, but little thing like Ricardo can just get so much more speed out of every stroke. So, she was pretty low in the first up, I guess. Yeah, probably mostly that.
So will someone go below 100 seconds for the run? Certainly won't be Victoria Wolfhard, but she might put herself in with a chance.
I reckon we'll definitely get sub 100.
Well, 6th is, as they say, on the bit too close to the bubble.
So we've only got 10 more paddlers to go, so after Victoria we'll have our first qualifier.
Well, no excuses for Yasmin Schornberg. She sat here with us yesterday in the commentary analysing where things could possibly go wrong. She's a former world champion and clearly from Germany. Won the World Championships 2009 on this course.
We must now have our first qualifier of Ricardo Funk with only 9 paddlers to go. Jasmine's over 3 seconds down. Coming nicely into that up. See if she can nail the cross.
Nope. That flume got her.
Dropping a bit low.
There's another 2 seconds gone.
Definitely. There's a damn lot of time in those 2 ups, so very, very tricky to do well. But she's nailed that down.
5 seconds, so still with a possibility of making the final.
If she can just get herself into the 2nd place, she'll be booking herself a spot in the final.
Should have gone for a punch. That's a bit tight, isn't it?
Well, needs to hurt. She was complaining yesterday that it really hurt in the heats this last section. Well, goes into 7th rank, and probably it's going to be difficult to see if that's going to be enough. We now have our first official qualified. It's Ricardo Funk will go into the final. Here's Kimberly Woods, who we saw yesterday in the C1. Now it's the K1. Well, it's taken out a gate there.
Yeah, picking up a touch there, it's really going to cost her. She's going to have to push
and
hard.
another
Oh,
one.
and another one. It's going to be hard to come back from those 2 touches and getting a bit offline as well. It's a good effort for Kimberly to be this far down the field and in the semi-final. She's must have had a flyer of heats run. So that was a really tough heat to make the semi in. Just doing really well in those two ups in the middle of the course. And absolutely nailing the cross.
Very strong.
Apart from that,
Ooh, that was pretty tight.
apart from the bit at the
Well, she's coming down with expensive early touches.
really, really fast through that last up, but hitting her tail on a rock, pushing her a bit low in that 2nd to last up.
So Kim Woods has the potential, but it's not looking too good today, unfortunately. It's a long way to go. There's another 6-7 seconds work to do.
Those 2 touches have really cost her.
Well, 2 qualified now, so Ricardo Funk, Marta Martinez are going through to the final, definitely. Eight athletes to go. The current world champion, Katerina Kudjova from the Czech Republic on the water. Jure Piskovic, her training partner, who's also going to Rio. He's not here this week.
No, I think he's training in Rio, potentially. Quite a few Olympic athletes opting not to compete at these World Cups for training in Rio.
Which makes sense in a way.
It does.
Ooh, it takes the wave. Bit wet through there.
Well, in touch, very much in touch.
1.5 seconds is hard to make up though, especially on this bottom section, unless it's absolutely perfect.
Ooh.
But that was looking pretty damn good.
Right, looks like she's going to go provisionally. That's really,
looking
really
good.
special. She's coming back, isn't she? She's very much in touch. Second place so far.
Those 2 ups in the middle. Oh, picking up a touch. That's not going to help. Definitely made up a lot of time on the other girls in those middle ups, but that touch
Well,
might
this
cost her a
probably-
spot in the finals.
She's going to take provisional Well, it's going to be close. It's going to take second or third. Yeah, provisional
Oh,
second
no.
place, which is
She's
enough.
through to the
because she's-
final.
Exactly. So 3 athletes through, 7 to go. And you probably know her quite well, Luca Jones.
Yeah, Luca Jones. Hoping for a good run here.
So the whole of the New Zealand squad not going to Po yet. They're waiting to watch Luca. Hopefully watching a bit later on. Well.
Yep, that's it. Opting for the spin. Surprises me a little bit, judging by her whitewater skills. But looking super smooth through that top section.
Yeah. And the
Looks like she's going to be a bit down on the split. 2 seconds. She's going to have to make up some time in these ups to put herself in with a chance. A little bit low in that first one, but
oh, hits the flame on the other side, and boat turns up real fast.
she's going to struggle to book herself a spot in the final with
Oh no,
a few little mistakes, but still clean, so still in with a chance.
Well, it's
7
dropping off
seconds.
quite a lot now, isn't it? So obviously do something special in the last section.
Yeah. Potentially not special enough. Still pretty good.
Nice in the last up, that's for sure.
Well, needs to
gonna
really
struggle
go for
though.
it. I don't think it's going to be enough though.
No,
No.
week 16.
This is where we can't lip read.
Yeah.
And who do we have here? It's Miss Fox, Jessica Fox, your
Jess,
compatriot,
let's go,
your teammate.
Jess.
I didn't do C1 yesterday, so she can practice for the Olympics, and she doesn't get a practice run. I guess that's what she might call it.
Looking really smooth through that top section. She's really looking good.
Dry boat through there. It's important.
Pushing hard. She knows that she has to put down a good run to get herself up on the leaderboard.
0.06. I'd say it was the
On the
same
pace.
But we saw Ricardo Funk really put down something special in the end. So, but there again, Jess Fox is capable of mixing it with the best.
Looking good in those 2 key ups there. There's a lot of time in them.
Let's have a look at the next split to see
Really
where
keeping
she
the
is.
boat moving through there.
It's going to be close. Well, again, very much in touch. 1/10 of a second down.
This is a lot of time. And
Oh,
flying.
looking awesome through there. Pushing hard through this last section.
Whoa.
Whoa means good, I guess.
Yep. Boat just moving without any effort, it looks like.
Well, looks like
She's
hurt
looking
yourself. So we're
good.
going to have a fast time here. Are we going to have the fastest?
Nope.
No, which
Not
moves into
quite.
second place there. That's fine. And
nice
qualifies.
work, Jess.
Jess always knows exactly where the cameras are.
Yeah.
She does.
Well, there's Melanie Pfeiffer, again, the European champion, who's going to the games, who is of slight build, been on the scene many, many years, but certainly knows how to put the boat in the right place.
She sure does.
And she's saying when she was in the internal German trials, it was so difficult. And so she didn't believe at first that she'd actually won the quota place, or the place rather. So far we do have 5 athletes qualified. Ricardo Funk, Jessica Fox, Katrina Kudiova, Marta Martinez, Violeta Aubrey de Peters are qualified so far.
Oh, Via, that's great.
So they're all Olympic medalists or world champions.
Looking smooth through this top section.
Easy final to make.
Or local. But But there again, that was the same in Heat 2 of the K1 men a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Only 10 of 44 had to go through, and look very much in touch with the split. Any point 4 down.
Less than half a second, which can be won or lost in any of these moves.
It's that run on the boat. Oh no, and it stops.
Running into a bit of trouble in that stopper there. Pushing hard to get it back.
More power, the Germans.
Well, she's lost a lot of time. Nearly 3 seconds she lost in that, so she's now 3 3/4 seconds off the pace.
But there is space there. The first non-qualified is 5.5 seconds down, which would be Jana Dukatova, I believe.
Yeah, big gap in this semi-final. It's looking like it's very tough to put down a good run.
Well, it needs to come under 106.
She looks like she's gonna do.
Yeah, that's enough to move into 5th
Place and straight through into the final.
2 Germans.
Jasmin Schornberg, the 3rd German, is now sitting in 10th place.
We've got someone who definitely knows what they're doing and has been doing it for fair amount of time.
The Panka Hilgeteva from the Czech Republic. Is she 5 times Olympic?
Too many times.
At least.
That's only because they only started quite recently. Her son did very well yesterday. He was the last to go in the final. Didn't perhaps realise the potential there, but made the final. Good push.
Yeah. Looking very strong in the semi.
Looks like she's going to be on the pace. Almost less than a second down in the first split. She's going to have to put it down in this bottom section though to keep in touch.
I wonder what family dinners
Oh dear.
would be like at their house. Oh, you didn't make the final? No.
Well, there's quite a few families that could go through the same
Yeah.
fun. I guess you need a release valve somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess just knowing the foxes. She's lost around 4 seconds in that middle section. Shows how key it is.
Oh, the gate and the eddy.
Picking up a touch.
And the rock at the bottom of the eddy.
Touching the gates and the rocks. Not what we want. It's going to be tough to make that 106.
No, not today.
No, I don't think that's going to make it through.
So who's now the latest to qualify? It's Jana Dukatova, another world champion, goes into the list.
Irati.
Here's another local. She'll be looking to push those top times.
She's 3rd fastest in the qualifications, which looks good.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely nailing that first cross. A little bit low in that second up, but keeping the boat moving well, so to see how her split's looking. Yeah, that's what I expected on the pace, less than half a second down.
Well, there's 2 Germans at the moment sitting in 8th and 10th place who'd be a bit nervous about this.
Yeah, definitely. Dropping a little bit low in that second up of the 2 crux ups.
He's probably still done that move countless times, I'd say.
Doesn't make it easy though. Not always.
Big turn there. Oh,
Well, and
touch on the
another
outside pole.
Another touch on that second to last up.
Oh, making a straight line to the finish.
But despite of all that
Looks like
stress,
she
it's maybe
might be close. Ooh.
Well, she goes
That's
into
gonna be-
ninth.
She knocks Yasmin Schoenberg off the block.
It's going to be a nervous wait.
Yeah, probably.
Two very, very strong paddlers to come, and sitting in ninth.
And that's Attila, 16 years old, was in the London Olympics, and now I guess there's all going to be the expectation on her in her home country, in Brazil, for the Games.
Yeah,
She's
for sure.
known as the queen among the Brazilian team. She's the
Oh,
only
really?
girl. It'd be interesting.
She's definitely had some good results. And as always, she's pushing hard. And looking good through the top section. But she's going to be a little bit down in this first split. Almost 1.5 seconds.
That's okay though, that's okay. She has how many seconds to play with and take it to come in? 6.5 seconds off the pace and you take her spot.
Yeah, she's looking really good into that up though.
Melanie
Pushing
Pfeiffer was the
across.
latest to qualify, sorry.
But losing a bit of time on that up there for sure. But pushing really hard to make it up. Almost 3 seconds down, but it looks like that's going to be all right if she can hold it together in this bottom section.
Well, just 4 gates to go, and that's going to be expensive. It's a 2-second penalty.
Picking up a touch. And that's second to last gate again.
That's not what she wanted. That's really a nightmare.
It's going to be hard to come back from. But she's putting everything in for that last sprint.
That's not going to happen. She's going to be kicking
No.
herself there.
That means she's also qualified.
Where would she have been without that touch?
Well, 5 seconds there. It would have been enough, but we can't really say that. I think we're just going to see an exhibition now. Mylene Shaw
Yeah.
from Spain.
Here we go. This girl knows this
Let's
course
see
like
how
the
it's
back of her
gonna go.
hand. And see how the locals do it.
She has also got the cutest baby.
Well, she's known for putting down some staggering times that put most of the men to shame.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little bit unstable in that drop there. It's a terrible drop.
So far, the crowd a little bit quiet in anticipation, just expecting her to do well.
It's very nerve-wracking watching other paddlers.
Only 4 seconds up.
Wow, she's absolutely
Only
flying.
4 seconds up.
Absolutely flying. She definitely knows what she's doing. Got plenty of time to play with. But dropping a little bit low there, so she'll have to. Ooh, and again,
that was definitely not.
definitely losing that
expected.
time that she was up.
She did that
On
a couple
those
of
two
years ago
ups.
here. A couple of years ago, she was really pinning it to the end of this second to last gate. It all went wrong.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that she can keep it together for this last section.
That's in the final. More times coming on, but that's fine. It's 1.83, which would put her easily into the final, third place.
Yeah, she doesn't have to do her exhibition now. She can do it in the next round.
Is that what she would be telling herself?
Well, finals. I guess so.
In the next round, if it happens. It's looking good through that last 2 ups.
Done this last bit 1,000 times, probably just has to do one more safely, and it's going to be a final position.
Clean.
Looking good.
Well, yeah, moves in third place. So we do
She's
have
done well.
the 10 finalists now. Funk, Fox, Shura, Kudleva, Martinez, Oblanja Peters, Techil, Dukatova, Pfeiffer, and Irata Gutierrez from Spain. So three Spanish in the final.
They've done well.
Well, expected of us.
A bit expected for that. That's
Yeah, definitely.
that is a lot of fun there, and it's going to be really stacked. The last 3 to go are Funk, Fox, and Shaw. So that's going to be really, really good.
It's going to be very, very exciting, that's for sure.
So Georgia Rankin Kate Eckhart, that's been a lot of fun for me. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
We're
you.
going to not put you through the torture of doing the C2.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. So safety seats a minute, and we'll follow the results as we see.
These are the 10 peppers who go to the final 10th place for the
So confirmation of the results here. These are the girls that are going for the final. I just named them. So Germany, Austria, Spain, Czech Republic, Spain, Austria, Slovenia, Slovakia, Germany and Spain. Thank you so much for coming in. Watch the rest of the races and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the activities will continue with the C2 men semi-finals. We'll have to look out at how that actually goes. Going offline in a few seconds and we're back for the C2 men.
Germany is Ricardo Funk, who finishes as leader with 100.78. So we got the 10th runner qualified for TULLN women final. Congratulations to all of them. And no time to rest as the semifinals.
Just having a look at some of the slow-mos here. The girls have now gone off and we have a couple of top C1, C2 practitioners. Just put your headphones on, no coughing, straightforward. You're going to put the microphones up, don't play with your head, that's great. So Tyler Smith, we saw you yesterday, you passed your interviews, thank you for coming back. In case not to see you on the water today, but I guess you will see plenty of you in the next few months.
I certainly hope so.
We just need to have a look at this. There's some debate over Anna Satila. It's a possibility that she's come back in. I'm looking at my screen at the moment, and there she is in 9th place. That's what I'm hearing for the producers. Are we going to have another graphic confirming it? If you look at there, in 9th place we now have Anna Satila, and I guess this will be so Ricardo Funk. The only unfortunate victim for Spain is Urata, now moves into 11th place, but that's just the way it works. I guess there was an appeal for the referees. It's the laws of the game. So Anna Satila is now into the final, which will take place in about an hour and a half's time. This is going to be the lineup for the semi-final of the C2 men. We're going to have 20 teams competing. And look at that, first up's going to be Zhang and Dane, who were the first Chinese team for a while to win a medal in a World Cup, and they won that last weekend. First of all, Casey, why are you not in the final?
Devin and I are just a little bit slow on Friday, and you know, this is a course where there's a lot of time to be lost, even in some of the simplest areas. So I think that we'll be looking to see who can hold their speed throughout the entirety of the course, particularly in the bottom. We were noticing yesterday that a lot of time could be lost there. So it should be fun to watch, and here we go. We're dropping into the course already.
Tyler, you've been competing in the World Cups in the C2, so what are your thoughts?
I'm really impressed with the Chinese teams this year. Last year they weren't really making the semi-final cut, and this year they're having some good results, so looking forward to watching them some more.
And last week, was it a surprise they made the final, or did they merit it? Well, I guess by definition you're in it, so you have to do your best.
Yeah, I think it was a big surprise for most people to see that, but being in an Olympic year, it's fair to start peaking and have some great results.
So what are we seeing there?
Looks to me like the boys have been paddling fairly well. Unfortunately, they just picked up a touch on gate 12 there. Just letting the bow pop up a little too much, cutting that line in a little too close on the entrance into the first of the double ups. Let's see if they can keep it clean for the rest of the go and keep it in between the poles.
Yeah, as we saw yesterday, the touch on the inside pole of gate 12 was quite common with the C1s and the K1s, and I think it's going to be prevalent today as well in the C2s.
So a little bit wide there. Decent save though, coming back in high into the next set of the double ups. A little bit low here though. So 114.72, including that touch. I'd be curious to see how fast the C2s are going to go. I think generally they can be pretty on par with the women's time, so I'd like to see them really pushing that 100 mark.
Hometown boys, Jesus Perez and Daniel Marzo. I think they know the course better than anyone for sure, and they're looking to put down a much better time than they did in the qualifiers.
And they've been together forever, haven't they? Well, they have. So they normally have their results peak here.
We can already see that they've got a good margin up on the clock, moving fairly well. Oh,
possibly just a water touch there.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the judge's call is on that.
Well, there's certainly some noise for the local ones. Good crowd here following them down.
Oh, and their margin has grown even more. Good lead. Just a little bit low into the upright here, but they carry the speed nicely. Nice second up. And a home stretch.
Well, this is going to be the time of reference, I guess.
Yeah. Great time, 103. I think as we see those top boats come down, they're really going to push that 100. I may expect a few sub 100s then. Aha, Brazil. These boys have been coming up very well. I like their style. It's fun. They kind of, I think because they're both fairly small paddlers, they just sort of float on the water really nicely, and I like to watch them jump.
Olivier. Again, they're going to be a lot of press attention the next couple of months from them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that the Brazilian team has really been stepping up their game with their home games coming up. They're really excited, and they want to make a nice, strong mark on the international field.
So, Casey, you were the poster boy for the 2014 Worlds. How does that affect you? Does it mean you become narcissist, or do you actually have more pressure?
I think that everybody reacts to things like that in different ways. For me, it didn't bother me so much. You know, it was sort of like a little bit of extra work. You know, I just had to show up to different places at certain times. But other than that, you're there for a reason, and in the end, your focus should be on the racing.
Well, so far, Brazil going clear.
Yeah.
Not a very fast cross, particularly. So far, a couple seconds off of the time set by the Spanish.
Yeah.
So I think that time's going to hold up pretty well. Jesus Perez set up.
Yeah, about 5.5 seconds back. Fairly clean through here, though. Good. You can see Charles in front watching that bow, making sure that he's keeping the bow down so that they're avoiding those outside poles.
Well, crucially, the Perez and Martin went first, were clear, and it also looks like Brazil goes clear. So
Yep.
6 seconds off the pace. Do you think they'll be happy with that?
I think that it's going to be a challenge for that to hold for the top 10. But I don't think, in general, it was a bad run. Just think there was a little bit of time lost, and I think that they'll want to look at that video and figure out where they can pick up those seconds.
So Maniko and Cahill are on form.
Always a great way to see a good benchmark time for the course is to watch the first French bit. So we'll be looking for a pretty fast time as always.
Nice dive here.
So it's very rare for a team to double up. Clearly they won last week. Can they keep it going? With Klaus Pesch not choosing to compete in these World Cups.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the athletes that have chosen to opt out of some of these World Cups. I guess everybody's got their different strategies for coming into these games, wanting to make sure that they're well prepared, well rested. So we can see already they're a couple seconds back on the split.
Well, 4 seconds down, which is not too bad as we compare the 20 years of local knowledge accumulated.
Yeah, a little bobble there, a little extra time.
Three gates to go. Second reference time is 1:09.
Yeah.
I think in terms of finals, we're going to be looking at times below 105 at the most.
I think that's a reasonable statement. All right.
Florence and Hounslow, one of the great favourites of any event they enter.
Absolutely. They just had a little bit of trouble on their first run on Friday, but these boys are no stranger to pressure, and they are definitely going to lay it out on the course. I'm excited to see what kind of time they put down.
David Florence, he was the fastest in the semi-final of C1. It fell apart a bit in the final, but it shows that he knows his course now and he knows how to put down a fast time.
Absolutely. These boys are very experienced, and just I think that they thrive on the pressure, honestly. They love getting to go out there and be on the course.
And Richard Hounslow clearly retiring from K1 at the end of last season, just to concentrate on this. With 1.17 down, which is good.
Yeah, it looks to be on pace. Very interesting style that they've taken a long time to perfect, really. David in the front really pushes the whole way down the course, and Rich and Hounslow in the back has learned to paddle around that.
Looks like they picked up a penalty on gate 12 here.
Well, 4 seconds off, so effectively they're 2 seconds slower, which is not too bad. 4 teams so far gone out of 20 to go.
Nice jump here. I'll watch that stern. Not too shabby there.
Mum and Dad are on the bankside, jogging down with them.
It's been really fun. All of these trips that we've done to Rio, gotten to train with the British team, and George pops in every now and then. He's being a flight attendant. He just comes to say hello, see him at the course. It's pretty cool. All right, so 106.
That'd be interesting to see, because it clearly goes into second place. But there's some big hitters to go. Hochschorners made it to the final last year. Clearly they are legends of the sport. Let's see if they can hold it together today. No one knows these, do they? You can't say they're either average first or last. How do they keep the motivation going for so long?
Passion. I mean, I think we are all in the sport for a reason, and it's because we love it. Otherwise, you'd pick a sport that makes you a lot more money. But we enjoy it, and that's sometimes that's all you need to keep going.
They've started to do a lot of races, it seems like, and it seems like they're slowing down a little bit, but still pushing through the Rio Games and hoping to end on a good note.
And Taylor, when you were on the water for the first time with them, if you have been, were you a bit starstruck, or was it just cool?
It's really cool to watch. They're so special in how they paddle. You really can't emulate them. It's something that they've practiced since they got in the boat, but it's beautiful to watch, and yeah, just really cool.
Very nice through there in that dive gate. That rock poses a bit of an issue, and they kept the line moving very well, like it wasn't even there. Little trouble there.
Very costly touch. They were 3 seconds down. Adding that touch, I think it's going to push them out of the potential for finals.
With many victories in World Championships, Olympic Games, World Cups, and still in competition.
Well, they're paddling through to the end, but it's not going to be a happy ending, unfortunately.
I think not.
It's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault.
The trouble of being a C2.
Kuznetsov flowing off from Russia are next to go.
These guys have been on the scene for quite a while, and I've had many successes. I definitely like to watch these guys. I just wish that they were oriented the same way Devin and I were, so we could watch them and learn a little more. Good jump there. Just keeping that boat tracking well.
C2s are similar than C1s in the way that they have a dominant side. The back paddler controls a lot of the turning, so different moves are better for lefty C2s compared to righty C2s. So we'll see some C2s spinning on the top moves and some directing the whole way.
A little back on the split here, 3.3 seconds. Not surprising after the dive gate up there. You got their stern caught on the rocks a little bit, and that can be costly here. Again, in this up, just a little bit of tangling with the side.
That time adds up quick, as we've seen already, and it doesn't lead to a great time overall.
It's one of the interesting things about this course is that it's not the biggest whitewater course. You can't count on to lose that time the same way.
So simple question: when you finish this course, are you as tired as you are through some of the big courses?
I would certainly say so. Yeah, especially after that nice 4-meter sprint at the end.
Well, the Russians are coming over the line, and is it going to be enough to put them close? Well, it's certainly not lifting anything up. They're moving to third place at the moment, but only 8 of the 20 boats have gone, and so 12 boats to go. And we have some fit and powerful teams left to go.
Absolutely.
And Stepanski Pokwala from Poland. Everyone's talked about how fit the Polish are.
Absolutely. I think it's been really cool to watch the Polish C2s. They have all really stepped up their game. I think Worlds last year was a great example of that. I think all of them made it into at least semis, if not finals. It's really interesting to see as the Olympics approach the level of paddling increase, especially this being potentially the last Olympics for C2. Everyone's really pushing up their game.
Great top split, just a couple tenths off of the Spanish team. So great run so far.
Good bow control there into the up. See they're crossing, very smooth.
One of the better ones we've seen so far. Very tight on the up, and they kept the boat moving, which is crucial there.
Absolutely.
Well, they're still in touch, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 seconds is not too bad. Keeping that line nice and tight, clean through here. I think the big thing for the C2s in that dive there is to make sure that they get back right early enough that they're not catching their stern on that rock, being a longer boat. This is a really nice double up here. and it's into the home stretch. They just need to keep these last 2 gates clean. I think they're going to do what they came here to do, at least for semifinals.
Made up a little bit of time on the last couple of gates. The double up was very nice, and as we've seen in the C1 men and the K1 men, there's a lot of time you can save doing those last 2 ups well.
Another French C2, Pierre and Pierre. These guys are really fun to watch.
Tia and Ivrea. I think even on the commentary last weekend in Ivrea, giving their insight into how you go fast, and they seem to be very light-hearted about how hard they work.
Little boof there into the dive. Not sure that was intentional. Pretty in touch though, less than a second back on the top split.
You'll notice most of the C2s, the larger athlete will be in the stern, but this is one of the pairs where the bowman is a good bit taller than his compatriot in the back.
So how does that formulate?
It's a good question. I think it really depends how long you've been paddling together. I don't think it really works if you just start and you really can't figure out how to paddle. But if you're very familiar with each other, it's just something you know, and you figure it out.
Just a little bit of trouble here. Just keeping the line fairly smooth, but speed slowing down a little bit there.
Definitely left a lot of time in that upright, and we'll be able to see that in the time as they cross the finish line.
But it's not too bad though.
Yeah.
Apart from their problems, they're annoyed, but they move into 3rd place, which we'll have to see, won't we? Next to go is Schroeder and Bedge, and they've been around a while, individually, and then decided to come more recently together.
Yeah, these guys have been really fun to watch. They've been having some great results lately. You know, maybe the removing of the Olympic pressure has been good for them.
You athletes are amazing. There's always a positive.
You got to find it, you know, especially if you want to keep going. It's, you know, 4 years is a long time to wait, so you got to find those positives where you can. Little stern action there on the wall, but they didn't let it slow him down. Nice upright there.
Very aggressive and powerful team.
Yep. Do you expect anything less of the Germans, though? About 2 seconds back. A little wide there. But they carry good speed into the up. Let's see how their crossing goes. A little bit low.
There's 3 German teams competing today. They're still within touch of the present 3rd, 4th, 5th teams.
Oh, very nice there through that dive. Good timing. Little punt there. Trying to get it out.
Well, let's see where they're going to be coming just down below us now. They're going to make it into the provisional 5th. It's not where they want to be. It's a bit sticky. There's a big lead from 1st to 2nd.
Yeah.
And it's quite sticky over the next. Well, right down to 9th position at the moment. There's only 3 seconds keeping them out. There's Vera and Veril, the 2 brothers from Switzerland. We had Coquelin, who did well last weekend in the C1. Mike Curtis finally decided to retire after many years at the top of this sport, so we're seeing the brothers in action.
Yeah, these guys have been really great to watch. They have come up, they've really answered the call of the Olympics and stepped up their game to earn themselves an Olympic position. And we've seen now, you know, they become semi-finalist boaters, or a semi-final boat, and And that's certainly when they're looking to be that final boat as they look to peak for the Olympics.
Very common in the successful C2s, you'll see a family relationship, whether brothers, cousins, as a Slovak C2 is. I think family definitely allows you to keep that partnership going.
Not just because they're better at fighting. Nice little duck there. Not too much time.
We're now into the second half, so these are the 11th pair to go.
Yep.
So we're going to soon see a qualification. It's going to settle in between Perez and Mato.
Yep, these guys are going fairly well, about 2.5 seconds back. We'll see how they hold up their time in these last couple of gates. Good little pump there. Not too shabby. Should put him in the top.
Well, again, they're really grouped, aren't they? They're all in a second will put you from 3rd to 5th or 6th.
Yeah, lost another second at the bottom. Pico Bizo.
Well, they know how to act when there's high pressure on, don't they?
Absolutely.
In the worlds, they always
Going for the
seem
direct
to do
line.
well.
Very nice.
You'll see this being one of the C2s with lefty dominant back backup.
Good control there. A little bit high in, but very well adjusted. Look at that, right on top, right there with the split.
This is good, isn't it? It's very good.
Yeah, absolutely, good jumps.
Had to back off a little bit heading to the up, but it's definitely worth waiting a little bit to avoid that 2-second penalty.
Absolutely.
And still persisting with their hard-working I Love C2 campaign.
Absolutely. We all love C2. Still right there on the split. This is looking really good for them. Very clean through the drop.
They just make it look easy.
They really do. Oh, I'm not so sure about that touch. Oh, that one for sure.
Yeah, the outside pole on 18 was moving, but it looked to be more of a wave than an actual touch.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, Tyler. That's really unfortunate, though. They had a really, really good run coming in here, but I think
It's all gone down, hasn't it? Last.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure they can hope to survive that.
Well, 1A7. If in theory maybe a 2-second came off, then
I-
I'd certainly put them in the mix.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. See who we've got.
The Brzezinskis
left.
coming up.
Aha.
Another young set of brothers coming out of Poland. Very strong team. Started really making some great results last year. I believe that they made some finals, and are really just paddling well.
And their compatriots have already qualified for the final. Say Stepansky and Pokwala join the Spaniards of Matzo and Perez in the final so far.
You'll notice in a final or a semifinal of only 20 boats, there's 3 Polish teams, 3 German teams, most likely 3 French teams as well. But it's very dominated by a couple of countries.
I think it was the first time last year for a long time there's a team from Brazil and a team from China both made the final.
Looks like these boys might be a couple seconds back here. I know the Spanish boys are very excited to be holding on to that strong time. They'll be looking to do that all over again in finals.
Tough hit on the rock between 15 and 16. Was expecting that to be a little more common in the race. Really didn't happen yesterday, but we saw today. Didn't quite get the turn from past 15, and it's very costly to hit the rock and lose your speed. Still clean, which is really important.
This is going to be again in the mix. It really does come down to half a second either way, whether you're in or not.
So they have 3 boats have now qualified with TULLN have gone through for France, and if you look at the next 1, 2, 3, 4 boats, all 3 seconds back. So Karlovsky and Janek from the Czech Republic, another very exciting team. And an easy boat to spot.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to be seen.
Czech C2s have a great program. There's 3 really strong boats that are frequently in the top finishes. So they push each other, and you can see when they race how strong the competition is in the Czech Republic.
For forward planning, are most of them going to stick with the C2? Are they going in the singles, or do you know what they're doing?
It's really hard to tell. I mean, I think a lot of C2 paddlers are C2 paddlers, but threatened with the extinction of their boat. We'll have to wait and see what they all decide to do.
But we saw them in the split. They're just 1.3 seconds down, so they're hopefully going to make a final.
Definitely on pace. There's a lot of time to play with between first and the athletes qualifying right now.
Very good clean line through that dive there. Now about 2.8 seconds back. Good jump through here. Keeping that line tight. Nice little punt.
A little too much into the eddy. Probably slowed them down a bit, but it allowed them to have a safer line through the last 2 gates.
Well, this is really important. Half a second could make a difference. That's what are they? Third. That's what they wanted, and they go straight to the final. Well done. So now 4 teams are qualified for the final. The 5th team, who needs someone else to mess up, is Florence and Hounslow. The Mullers. So we have an awful lot of families that you mentioned a few minutes ago today. These are twins.
I would think this is definitely the most ideal situation for a C2.
Are you identical twins?
Yes.
Think the same. But if the bounders don't have separate jobs.
Very true.
I often wonder what it would be like to paddle C2 with a clone of myself. I think this is about as close as we're going to get.
Yeah, a little too tight on the turn into the up.
Oh, and now get 10.
Last week they had a similar semifinal run. A lot of penalties. They were very unhappy with it. We're not expecting to make the final, and ended up just sneaking in, and then had a decent final. But haven't had a great semifinal quality so far this year.
Unfortunately, it seems that they were also picking up another touch on 5. It was a little slow to come in, but
if you look at the last 5 years since I've been commentating, they're always just making a final or just missing out.
It seems that way. Unfortunately, I think it won't be their day today unless any of those touches come off.
So far on the others we've been watching, there's no appeals open as we speak. No, it's not going to be. So there's 15 gone, 5 to go, and qualified, latest to qualify, are going to be David Florence and Richard Hounslow for Great Britain. So Spain, Poland, Czech Republic, France and Great Britain are now qualified for the finals.
As it goes right now, even a clean run with the same time was not going to be good enough to advance.
Pair coming in. They've done well to put 3 boats in the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned before, they really stepped up their game, and these young C2s are doing very, very well.
But as you mentioned, it's very unfortunate we have all these young C2 paddlers that are really just growing into their potential, and unfortunately won't be in the Olympics much longer.
The reason that's relevant is it affects the bottom line, which is funding, which is coaching, which is exposure, which is everything.
Absolutely.
Well, 2.7 seconds up, so they may see them again in the final. Down, sorry, 2.7 seconds down.
If they can maintain the same pace, they're definitely safe. Have to stay clean, as we saw. Those penalties are super costly.
Oh, good line here into the double up. Oh, just a little deep, but
Did a great job avoiding that outside pole.
absolutely. I can see already a bit back though. The penalty on 15. Ooh, a little bit of trouble here and there. It seems that you've either got a really great clean line. Only one spin so far though.
No, it's not going to happen today, unfortunately. Now going to 14, which does mean the compatriots, the Brzezinskis, go through, so now have 2 Polish teams in the final. And 4 boats to go. Same name, but cousins this time, Peter and Ladislav Skantar, who are going to Rio, I believe.
Yes.
Which is the first time they've been on the top of the game. A couple of years ago, they were dominating. Last year, I think with babies and stuff, they perhaps weren't at the top of the game, but now they're back.
Yeah, these boys have been looking really good lately, and I'm excited to see what they put down. These guys are oriented the same way that Devin and I are, with righty stern, lefty bow, so it's always a pleasure for me to be able to watch them and learn from them. Got a little bit of air there off that wave. Just a good example of the power that they put in behind each of their strokes, making sure that each stroke is well timed and well placed to maximize the movement forward. Nice up here. Just a little pause on the wave, but it gets them into the up very nicely. You can see already that they're fairly well on par with the time. Nice little sneak around that rock.
Well, they're still in touch for a final place. The first boat that's non-qualified at the moment is 3.5 seconds back. So they have a little bit of time to play with.
That'll give them a little bit of comfort. They're doing very well with this last double up and just into the last 2 downs. These last 2 downs are a little deceptive. You got to make sure to run the boat well there. The water slides back and forth a lot, and so you got to make sure that you're following it well. Otherwise, there's a lot of time to be lost there. And into 4th.
So they're certainly qualified again, and it just means that Schroeder and Bedge have to wait. 2 more boats to go, 3 more boats to go, I'm sorry. Camporese and Ferrari from Italy.
6 times so far we've seen in the 106 window, so it's very tight, the difference between making finals right now and being just outside of it.
I'm really rooting for these boys. They've become some good friends of mine, and kind of shared in the adventure of the C2 world with Devin and I. It's always really nice to see these guys do well. Nice upstream there. Quick little shoulder dodge there by Pietro.
Great top split so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we saw with the Scantars, they were a little bit slower so far. So great top. Costly touch on the outside of the pole for the sternman.
So the strength of depth in Italy?
I think it's the one boat. There's a few countries where there's just really one top C2, and they just keep it that way. Slovenia as well, very, very strong C2, but it's just the one.
Yep. You can see these guys in the last split, they were about 4 seconds back, but that includes their touch, so really quite in touch on the general time. It's gonna be a little tight though, I think. Really gotta turn on the afterburners for these last few meters.
Well, it's interesting to see. Are they going to sneak in 10th? 9th so far. So
just a tiny bubble.
2 more boats to go, and we might see them in. Berling and Becker from Germany are the next to go. We now know that the 8th place boat, Schroeder and Betke, are qualified, so we'll certainly have a German in the final.
And there go the Italians in the finals. That's really unfortunate.
It's all gone wrong, hasn't it?
Yeah. Bailey and Becker just slid out on that wave, didn't get the bounce that they were looking for, and right up onto the rock. Actually, I think that was a very good situation considering what it could have been had they slid between those 2 rocks.
Is that just the movement of the wave or lack of concentration? They're thinking about gate 17 and...
it could be a number of things, but generally it's going to be just a lack of focus. One of the hardest things about C2 is that there are 2 mines in there, so if either one of the paddlers is unfocused, then you're going to have trouble maneuvering that boat well down the river.
Super uncharacteristic of this team. They've had a lot of success in the past couple of years. I believe medaling at the European Championships last year, and really having a lot of good results.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to find their stride now. Starting to coast well on top of the waves, but I think it might be a little too late.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, is it? Well, that means that barring appeals, the Mullers have an appeal in there, but as they only had 4 seconds of penalties, it's not going to actually change anything. Well, 12 seconds back at the split at the moment from Berling and Becker, with Bozic and Taliat, who were the world champions a couple of years ago, who they're serious clients. It looked like we have the most of the competitors through. We just need to look at the Italians are not officially through yet.
Yep.
But in a few seconds they will be, and then it comes down to either Bozic and Taliat or the Swiss, the Rowers. But it's
very exciting.
good quality field there.
Yeah. Some disappointment there.
Very tight final so far, excluding the run by the Spanish.
Luka Bozic, who's quite a handy C1 paddler as well, and Sasso Taliat.
Both excellent C1s, and I think this year they decided it was time just to focus on C2, looking ahead to Rio.
Yeah. These guys are also really interesting to watch. Bozic has a very unique style in the bow where he spends a lot of time back, just laying out in his sternman's lap. But he uses it well to keep their weight very well centered in the boat. Gives them good ability to turn and to glide on top of those waves.
So if you had Benzin in the back and Bozic in the front, it'd be a bit of a mess, wouldn't it?
I think so.
By the way, Franz Anton and Jan Benzin are not competing this weekend. Current world champions from London.
As well as the German Olympic boat, so that they're another team deciding to rest up headed to the games.
Will that be a bit expensive, that dropping low?
Yeah, you can see already that they're a couple seconds back before we even get to this next split. A little bit of trouble there, hitting the stern, a little dodge around the rock.
Well, it could be expensive. They're 4 seconds back. The last qualified finished at 3.5 seconds back.
They're going to have to look to pick up some time here. That was nice.
And the Swiss, who are in the sitting place in 10 at the moment, they had no penalties, crucially.
It's definitely possible to make up that second and a half, but not a spectacular double up.
Yeah, they're going to really have to turn on the engines.
Well, let's see. 8.
Wow,
look at that. Well done.
I think they'll probably be surprised at that, because it looked like it had gone a bit wrong, and barring anything amazing, they go into the final. So the Italians, your mates, are going into the final. It looks like we have, well, here you see on the screen. So that's nothing out. So look at it for yourself. Good. Slovakia, Germany, Italy. No Hochschorners. Unfortunate for the Swiss just to miss out this time. This French interest in there. Some big names have missed out. Chinese, after coming third last week, down, but at least they made the semi-final, which is good.
Yeah, these are all good steps. Everybody's getting motivated, getting pumped up for the games. I think this is really really exciting for the Swiss boys to just kind of motivate them a little further, push them into the finals.
Well, the action will continue here. We'll probably have let's have a look at some sleigh mace he has going on. Then we're going to be back on air just before midday for the first of the finals, which is going to be the K1 women, and then that's going to follow at 12:30 European time, so about 25-30 minutes after that with the C2 finals. So it's been a lot of fun, a lot of activity, and what is good to see is most of the big names that one would expect to go through to the finals on I guess ranking and on previous results have made it through this time, so it means they're going to have a quality result. They can all handle stress, they all know how to go down the thing. It's just a case of who can beat the Spaniards.
Yeah, I'm sure they're much happier and feeling a lot more confident after their semifinal run. Qualifiers were rough for them, finishing just second to last in the qualifier. So heading into finals and the number one spot's definitely gonna make them feel good, and hopefully they can handle that pressure.
Well, Casey and Taylor, thank you for coming in. I think we might hear you a little bit later, but I think we're going to have a bit of a break now for a few minutes. The action is going to continue in about 35-40 minutes time for the K1 women, as you can see. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you.